Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro have killed Magic the Gathering. That's right, the king is dead. Through corporate greed and crazy disconnect from their community, they have finally done it. And guess what? Your favorite indie trading card game is taking over as the new top of the mountain. Is this a realistic scenario? Could some of these games actually take down and destroy 30 years of Magic success? And most importantly, what does the trading card game world look like without Magic the Gathering? This one's going to be fun. Let's go. The indie trading card game landscape can often be referred to as a version of the Wild Wild West, with games showing up with the snap of a finger and dying off almost as quickly. From everything to Kickstarter scams where games never get delivered, to some very serious contenders that have fostered great communities and are pushing for the crown. This starts to beg the question, could an indie trading card game actually take Magic the Gathering's place on the top of the mountain? So today, I have 3 major games I want to discuss. I want to talk how they are trying to come at the king, if you will, what they are doing and how they are marketing to users and consumers and regular enthusiasts like you and I. And then most importantly, at the end of each of those games, I want to say what chance do they have to overtake the king? And then finally, I've got a spicy take at the end of this video. Let's say it does happen through one of the games we talk about. What does the trading card game universe and world look like without Magic the Gathering? We're going to talk about all of that today, and I don't normally do this at the beginning of the video, but this is not going to be a news video. It's not going to be one of the more popular videos, so I'd appreciate right away if you share this on any game community or anywhere you involve yourself in trading card game discussion. If you want to share this video, it helps the channel a ton, and I'd really appreciate it. But we're going to start with the new kid on the block, if you will. That's right, I'm holding right here a card from the Sorcery trading card game that experienced a vastly successful Kickstarter and was touched by the Alpha Investments kind of stamp of approval, saying, hey, I enjoy this, I'm involved with this. This trading card game has captured the hearts of thousands of people opening the boxes as they get them. The secondary market community is going crazy and people are having a ton of fun. Now, Sorcery boasts a couple things that I would say scorned Magic fans are going to enjoy. They are saying we are going to slow down the rapid release cycle. Magic the Gathering gives you 1 million releases a year. Guess what? We are committing to one major release a year with some spoilers from a major player in the company on a podcast, May the Zoo Be With You, that I'm on every single Friday morning. Check it out after you check this video out. Spoiling, we are going to do some mini sets and some small, card add-ins to shake things up here or there. But the big backbone is going to be 1 set a year. They're also pivoting into a direction that I did not see coming in today's trading card game era. As things get flashier and there are serialized cards and everything is meant to be collectible and therefore nothing is collectible, Sorcery promises a different experience. They want you to love foil cards again. Foil cards are going to be rare, and foil versions of their rarest cards are going to be hard to find, with the vastly popular cards being about a pop 250 in the alpha print run that is currently out. This is attracting many people, and they are coming for the throne and saying, guess what? We are giving consumers what Magic the Gathering currently isn't, a calmer release cycle, and we're giving them the ability to feel special when they pull cards out of a case. Now, albeit these are things that we haven't felt in Magic the Gathering in some time, I also believe that with Magic the Gathering being this massive conglomerate and having so many enthusiasts out there, that most people that experience Sorcery will have experienced Magic the Gathering in some way or another. And whether those players are scorned or happily involved Magic the Gathering fans, they will have been trained in a certain way. This means we are used to more rapid releases. Now, do I think a release as frequently as Wizards of the Coast currently does it is healthy? Well, no, probably not. It does cover up a lot of blemishes and, kind of makes way for a lot of new stuff. Make sure there's always something on the shelf that you can engage with. But I think they could do with a bit of a slowdown. And while Sorcery aims to answer that, in my opinion, 1 set a year is not going to get it done. And expanding past 1 set a year could be a challenge, as Sorcery boasts making their cards beautiful and feel special through the use of custom artwork. And I will give it to them. This custom artwork is beautiful. Now, I will go out and on a limb and tell you I am a fan of the Sorcery trading card game, but the idea of this card game hitting the market and trying to retrain consumers that have been involved with trading card games for probably a long time, saying, hey, I know that you normally get more than 1 set a year, but we're going to give you 1 set a year, and I know that you say you don't like foils, but we're going to put that to the test when you open a box, and you have to keep opening the same box for one whole year, and those same foils have to keep having meaning and value. There's high risk, high reward. I think Sorcery is an amazing experiment in the TCG landscape. Shout out George from Compete Sport for that thought process, and I really think it's going to be fun to see where it goes. However, I think retraining the consumer and making these foils in this one set a year the main thing, and making that our central focus and trying to keep our short attention spans attached to something for that long is going to be a challenge. Heck, you out there who visit my Friday Morning Magic live stream and subscribe to this channel, which if you're not, you should by now know, I like to talk. And even someone who likes to talk as much as I do, we have to cut things short to keep up with the attention span, entertain some people, and keep them moving. So for this reason, I think Sorcery is going to be a great experience. I think it's going to fill a lot of gaps. I think it serves great as a second or third trading card game. I don't think it can fill the bill or come for the king. But what about something that's a bit more proven? Sorcery is, in fact, the new kid on the block, but we've all heard the name Flesh and Blood, and heck, if you've been around this channel for a long time, you will know that is how we got our YouTube start over here at Hometown TCG, covering Flesh and Blood. Now, I will preface this saying I'm a bit biased. I've been involved in the Flesh and Blood community for a long time. I have made hundreds of hours of Flesh and Blood content, and it's something that occasionally I will still play with my friends. Flesh and Blood boasts that they have fixed the problem of Magic the Gathering gameplay. They have created the perfect gameplay system. They've given you the back and forth you've always desired without all the crazy mana screw, which, by the way, should be like an indie TCG tagline. Like, we have fixed Magic's mana system, even though the mana system's been pretty good for, like 30 years, but we fixed it! Like, that should be a line there. Now, Flesh and Blood boasts all of this, and then instantly drew in a large portion of competitive players, high-level players looking to really scratch that itch and get going to the nitty-gritty and min-max everything that you can do in the game, really found themselves a home with Flesh and Blood. Now, the problem came when it turned to the other side of the coin, if you will. These hardcore players, these zealots, these people who love the community are often all in. But trading card games grow through their casual community. Let's take a look up at the king one more time, Magic the Gathering. What is the most popular way to play Magic the Gathering, purchase Magic the Gathering, and experience the universe's biggest trading card game? Well, that would be Commander, and much to my dismay, Commander will remain king, and that is because casual communities, people who can engage with a hobby at their own free time, will always be your largest group of enthusiasts. I truly believe that for a game to see much success, you have to lean into the idea that casual people must love your game. Now, Flesh and Blood has tried to do this. Heck, PvE has been announced. Yes, that's right. A player versus environment system has been announced for, well, since I've known the game. It's been rumors and announced and say it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, but it's kind of a MetaZoo thing where it's always coming and it just hasn't been here yet, and we really don't know when we're getting it. So without that, we would turn to the pack opening experience. Look, the set box, as we track the data here on this channel, is always the most popular box. And that reason is we like cracking packs. Cracking packs is fun, and it's something we can all enjoy. Well, Flesh and Blood takes a hardcore approach to that as well, with many of the Majestics not holding high value and all of the value being in some crazy legendary cards that do seem to be one a case, and now the new Marvel version of a card that, well, I mean, there's a back and forth and a lot of discussion on this, but it might even be less. This means that the casual enthusiast that wants to go buy a box off a shelf at a much more affordable price point, I will say $89 or $85, or a map is something, it's under that, but whatever it is, that's a much more affordable experience for an enthusiast. That's much better. But when you buy that box, there's a high risk that you're not going to get your money back or even anywhere close unless you get one of those crazy chase cards. This rewards ingrained players. This rewards people looking to buy an entire case, where Magic the Gathering and their boxes definitely feel more casual. They feel more one-off. Now, as Wizards of the Coast releases more premium products with crazy price spikes, that doesn't apply there, right? So it's a little balancing act there. But Flesh and Blood, lacking the casual community, I think is its big downfall. It's why it hasn't experienced the massive popularity that I think it had the opportunity to grasp. And also, the company does suffer, in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion. There's a bit of a disconnect from its largest marketplace and its largest group of consumers to kind of what is being delivered. And then, that gap widens and narrows based on the set and ebbs and flows, but I really think that there's a lot of miss there, and in my opinion, I don't think Flesh and Blood can come for the king without being casual, without catering to the largest community. However, we do have one final game that promises to cater to a massive community, to be something that will land on the radar of trading card game enthusiasts, moviegoers, fathers, mothers, uncles, aunts, chillins, kids, all of it. This is the Disney Lorcana trading card game. Now, Disney Lorcana was announced, I think it was mid last year into earlier this year. There's been a lot of hype, but as the game gets closer, we learn more about not only the gameplay, but the product and how it will be delivered. And since the product's not out yet, we're actually going to leave the gameplay on the shelf and leave it aside. We're going to talk about the things that we do know. Now, Wizards of the Coast has recently dipped a toe into this market with the massive success that they've seen with Lord of the Rings. Wizards said, hey, we're going to take the universe's most popular trading card game. We're going to slap some Lord of the Rings on it. Do you want it? And guess what? We ate it up. We loved it. We wanted more and more. Well, Disney Lorcana looks to accomplish this. Set after set after set after set, leaning into the popular Disney IP, giving us things like Goofy, Ariel, Mickey, Minnie, Donald Duck. All of the things that we have known or come to know and love as children will be available in the Disney trading card game. But this is where we have to give Wizards of the Coast a bit of credit. WotC has painstakingly gone through the highs and the lows, the ups and the downs of printing too many boxes, printing not enough boxes, making the perfect product, making bad product, and all of the in-between. And this comes with a wide range of lessons learned. Heck, we're including serialized cards in collector booster boxes now, so we're not having a second wave and crazy reprints. Lord of the Rings is probably a massively printed set, but it's not all pushed out to the market all at once. It's trickled out kind of as we need it, and that's coming out in a more controlled experience, letting game stores actually earn $1 or $2 on the boxes that they're selling us. Well, Lorcana is seeing that these challenges, it's not like college, man. You can't just read this stuff in a book. You gotta live it, you gotta experience it, and as their initial allocations have dropped and people have found out how many boxes they're getting, well, they might as well have not printed the product at all. Major game stores are getting severely cut. Almost no boxes are being delivered. And with the crazy hype and opportunity that Lorcana has presented, it does beg the question, will it get around to, as boxes race upwards of Lorcana to almost $400 at pre-release, will this leave a bad taste in enthusiasts' mouth? Will this be something that I cannot justify buying for what is probably the most target audience? Me and my daughter, who's almost a year old, giving her her first trading card game and experience some of that and something we can bond over. You know, my nephews and my nieces getting together, opening some packs and playing a game at $400. Well, you know, frankly, we can't really justify things like that. So, because of the Disney IP, just like Lord of the Rings and the special collector's edition that's coming out, Lorcana will get, in my opinion, a second chance. But it just goes to show that a company who's not ready to deal with these challenges and haven't had to overcome the things that a seasoned trading card game group has is going to struggle a bit and maybe stumble coming out of the blocks. And for this reason, I don't think they've got a place next to the king quite yet. In fact, I think they got a long way to go. But I say all that to come to this conclusion. While it doesn't look like anything on the market can really capitalize and take over Magic the Gathering, and if you do, it's okay to let me know in the comment section below, but I promise I will respond with sales numbers, player numbers, and it is going to get ugly fast. Magic is massive, and again, I don't think any of the three that we've discussed today can do it. If you do, like I said, let me know. But most importantly, what happens when it does happen? Let's go disaster scenario here. Let's talk when Magic the Gathering finally falls. When the king is dead and something else is taken over, what does that world look like? Well, in my opinion, that may very well be the end of trading card games. Listen, at the time of the recording of this video, it's 2023. We are racing towards an ever-increasing digital age and shorter attention spans. And the idea of people putting collectible cards and boxes on their shelf is not something that's growing in popularity, especially in a post-pandemic world. I truly believe Magic is moving online and getting themselves a digital presence because they see the writing on the wall. Sooner or later, it is going to become more and more difficult to sell a trading card game as a physical product. And at that point, I think the Magic the Gathering that we all know and love, whether it's 20 years from now, 50 years from now, whatever it is, will cease to exist. It will have changed completely. And at that point, I don't think there are any predecessors that step in to take their place. I don't think anybody can pull on the heartstrings and the nostalgia and the 30 years of us caring about something enough to really make us dive back into that arena. So, as I think, when Magic dies, I think trading card games as we know them either die or change forever. But what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. I know this has been a longer video. You guys are normally around for a live stream every Friday morning. So again, I ask one more time, if you stuck around to the end of this video, at least enjoyed the conversation, share this video on some social media platform with some group of people to help engage the conversation. I appreciate each and every one of you out there. We're racing to 6,250. I think we're already over 6,100. You guys are crushing the sub button. I appreciate it so much. If you don't have a local game store, make sure you shop at minmaxgames.com. They are a proud sponsor of this channel, and I am proud to represent my amazing local game store, guys. Until next time, you all know me. My name is Josh. Thank you so much for hanging out, and we will see you around. Goodbye.